It's becoming more prominent, so it's really nerve-wracking.
A woman in Cape Coral says her dog came face to face with a massive python in her own backyard. Last week, we told you about another family in northwest Cape Coral who spotted this 9-foot python coiled up outside their garage. Pythons are slowly creeping farther north since establishing a breeding population in the Everglades back in the 90s. NBC2's Alexia Sharopoulos is uncovering what you should do if you spot one of these massive snakes in your yard.
The python that was caught and killed last week was 9 feet, which, using this tape measure, is to here. Now, the python that Lexi saw yesterday in her yard was even bigger, she said, about to here, 10 feet, and part of its body was still in the canal.
I'm not sure if it nipped him because he yelped and he's got a little cut under him.
Lexi Pantelop heard her dog Kane barking outside, which is normal, but around noon on Tuesday,
We heard him yelp.
she immediately went to her backyard where she saw her dog and a massive snake about to go head to head.
He was face to face like this through the fence.
Who knows what would have happened if she got there a few minutes later. This snake wasn't like anything she'd seen before.
That I've seen the little water moccasins. I mean, he was standing a good right here, and the end of his body was still in the grasses. You couldn't see where he ended.
Wildlife experts tell her this snake is an invasive Burmese python.
It's really scary, honestly. I'm ready to put my house up for sale and go.
And it's not the first one spotted in Cape Coral. Just last week, I reported on a 9-foot-long python caught curled up here next to a northwest Cape Coral home.
If it's a female, did it lay eggs? You know, am I going to start seeing more?
Experts tell me it's harder to tell, but female pythons are typically larger. Lexi called the FWC right away, but since she didn't have picture proof, they told her they couldn't help.
If something happened, I don't know what we would have done. We don't know how to handle those situations.
The FWC tells me their officers will only get dispatched if there is a threat to safety, but they encourage the public to help if they spot one of these Florida trespassers slithering in their yards.
We have that marshy grass on the bottom going into it, but I don't really know where this thing would have came from.
One thing's for sure, Lexi and her neighbors will be keeping their eyes open for this snake's return.
But if he made a fist, that's about what the size of the head was, a little bit smaller than the dog's head.
Lexi tells me her and her neighbors have been searching through this marsh looking for this python. She wants this sighting to serve as a warning. You never know what could be lurking or slithering through your backyards. I'm reporting in southwest Cape Coral. Alexia Sharopoulos, NBC2.